Jai Gurudev. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudiraye. Jai Gurudev.
Brahmaji,
Yes.
I like the sentence. No, it was what? Put the.
You want this screen share?
Last sentence that you read now. That when you are completely with. Sorry. When you are completely. When one's mind is always resolved in Ishvara, then what happens? Come to the.
Know that? Right. It is like the serial, right?
It was really this. We are committed to Ishvara, therefore we end it.
So shall I read verse 58 also? We'll see what happens. And then we'll actually recap what all it was very profound knowledge there. Machchitta
is very different.
Yeah.
As Sannyasa means we have to completely renounce it. These was what we are getting it from 55 or 54 are very important for us. And it is not, we have told not do it 100%. There's not only the 100%, with Ishvara in the mind. We are doing it for Ishvara. That is yoga. Whatever it happens, whether it is accident or that or this or that, it is for Ishvara only. And take it as that, then that karma yoga happens.
Taking one step forward, it is not so much for Ishvara, it is Ishvara.
Yes.
The whole fabric of whatever the actions we're doing, dharma itself, there is Ishvara. He's pervading everything. So that Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam, I think in chapter 4, everything is Ishvara. So you're not doing for
It's
Ishvara.
also part of Brahman, right? I mean, this is like the Brahman is the one who, become this project, made this Ishvara. Sorry.
Come again, Dr. Mara, it was not clear.
I'm wondering, the Ishvara is also part of the Brahman.
We're talking of Ishvara here is synonymous with Brahman.
Yeah.
The Ishvara is, by the term Ishvara is used because in terms of the creation, in terms of Jagat, in terms of the karma that we're doing. So that is the connotation, but he is nothing but Brahman.
Yeah, okay.
Karma, then Brahman.
What I will do is, because I will continue this train of thought, if one's mind is always resolved in Ishvara, then what happens? Let me just read this 58th verse also. Machchitta sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi atha chet svamahankarat na shroshyasi vinangshyasi. Being one whose mind is always in me, because of my grace, you will cross all difficulties. But if because of egotism, you do not listen to me, you will perish. I'm sorry, today, Dr. Renu, we're going to take half an hour's time. We're not going by the 7 o'clock rule, okay?
No, yesterday I had to miss it because I was to take Nitin. And I was so sad that I had to, go. I think I missed No,
Yeah,
then
yesterday, actually, Nana's session itself went on till close to 7:30.
no. Today I told them I cannot take, so today I'm
Okay.
available.
Okay.
That's yesterday.
An
I
exception.
really.
Today is an exception. Normally, we'll finish by, that will be our attempt to finish by 7.
No, it's okay, Dr. Sharma. I can see the YouTube that it's not the same as attending live.
Right. So by placing your mind in me, you will cross all difficulties. Durga means that which is difficult to cross. A mountain peak or a narrow passage which is difficult to negotiate is called Durga. It is something that can be traversed only with great difficulty. Shankara says it is the cause of samsara. These are the karmas which create punya papa that cause new births. They are born of a sense of agency, kartritva, which itself is born of ignorance, ajnana, all of which are very difficult to cross. But being one who is committed to a life of karma yoga, you will cross all these things which are difficult to cross. Sarva durgani tarishyasi. If you do not listen to me, you will perish. Now he says, suppose you don't listen to me. Athachet na shrosyasi, because of your own egotism, ahankarat, you think you know everything and are going to take charge of everything, and that you need not follow this at all. Due to arrogance, born of ignorance, you do not understand what I've been telling you. If that is the case, you will get destroyed. Vinankshasi, meaning you cannot accomplish what you want. The shreyas that you are seeking will be denied to you because you are not ready for it. If you are not ready for sannyasa and you give up karma, you will neither be a sannyasi nor a karma yogi. Therefore, you will get destroyed in the sense that you will not get that end which you are seeking. Krishna says this only to make sure that Arjuna has understood him properly, because later he is going to give him the freedom to choose whatever he wants. Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Now he wants to make sure that he has said everything he has to say. Krishna is telling Arjuna that even though the duty he has to do here is not pleasant, if he gives it up, he will have to do something more unpleasant later, because his nature will force him to do so. When people taunt him for running away from the battlefield, he will get so angry that he will fight with them, because no one can completely give up his nature. Arjuna's disposition at that time was something that had to be taken care of. Later, he's going to say,
Breaking.
Nashto mohaha smritir labdha karishyasi vachanam tava. Karishye vachanam tava. Nashto mohaha smritir labdha karishye vachanam tava. I have no more delusion. I will do whatever you have said. He understands that performing action also is a means for moksha for him, his disposition being what it is. He had knowledge all right, but from his behavior later and also from what Bhagavan says to Arjuna right now, we understand that his knowledge has some obstructions. They have to be taken care of. Your disposition will impel you to fight. Shankara introduces the next verse saying that one should not think, I'm independent. Why should I do what someone else says? Shall I continue this verse? Yadahankaramashritya na yotsya iti manyase mithyaisha vyavasayaste prakritistvam niyokshati. Resorting to egotism that you think I will not fight, this resolve of yours is false. Your disposition will impel you. Krishna knows that if Arjuna should resolve not to fight, that resolve would be false because it is not in keeping with his disposition. It would be will-based, not natural. If it were true to his nature, it would be the proper conclusion. But since it is not, such a decision would not be helpful to him. He may go away from the battlefield and take to the life of a sadhu, but that will be problematic for him later. Why? Your nature will bind you. Prakrititvam niyokshyati, says Krishna. Later, people will tease him for running away from the battlefield because of fear. Duryodhana is not going to let people believe that Arjuna went away out of compassion. If Arjuna leaves, the war will be called off and Duryodhana will claim victory without a shot. He is not going to acknowledge that he won by default, but will boast that by simply presenting his army, he frightened Arjuna away. Even though in his heart he knew Arjuna left because of compassion, he would not let the people think so, because he is going to rule the kingdom and does not want the people to favor the Pandavas. They may revolt against him. Therefore, he will make sure that everybody believes that Arjuna ran away from the battlefield out of sheer fright or seeing the formation of the army. This will definitely enrage Arjuna, and therefore a decision not to fight would be false, mithya. He has not grown into the disposition of a Brahmana, but is still a Kshatriya by nature. He is a fighter by nature, and this will force him to do the action of a Kshatriya. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, a warrior, not only by duty, but also by disposition. Therefore, that disposition will indeed impel him to act as a warrior later. Svabhavajena kaunteya nibaddhasvena karmana kartum nechasi yanmohat karishyasya vashopitat. Arjuna, out of delusion, being definitely bound by your own action, which is born of your natural disposition, you will helplessly do just what you do not wish to do. What is born out of one's disposition, determined by the composition of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, is called svabhavaja. By this, one is definitely bound, nibaddha, to perform certain actions. Even what you do not want to do, yet kartum na ichchasi. Why would you not want to do what is in keeping with your nature? Because of some delusion, mohat, due to some impulsive decision or some misplaced sympathy, Arjuna wanted to call off the war. Sympathy is a good quality, but here it is misplaced because Duryodhana is a person who has committed every crime in the book. He doesn't require sympathy now. He has to be stopped. If you act upon a misplaced sympathy for someone just because he is a cousin, you will have a lot of problems. That is an action born of lack of discrimination, mohat. That very action that you do not want to do now, you will uncontrollably do later. Karishyasi avashopitat. When the pressure goes away, you will regret your failure to act, or perhaps people will goad you into it. Whatever be the impetus, being completely possessed by a given disposition, you will definitely act in accordance with it. There is no escape from it because you cannot change your disposition by will. By your will, you can create a condition for yourself that is conducive towards a change, but it takes its own time. A change in disposition does not happen overnight. Arjuna has to go through this experience of war. That is the situation which has presented itself before him, and he has to do what is to be done. If he does not, he is not acting in keeping with his disposition. From this, we should understand that each one of us must do what is appropriate for us. What someone else does is not a legitimate basis for our choice of action. What is good for you, you have to decide and then do it. Doing karma as a yoga is not in any way opposed to moksha. Karma itself is by nature opposed to moksha because it is a product of ignorance of the self. If the karma is meant only for achieving a few limited ends, you will get only those things, and thus it is a bondage, not moksha. But if the karma is done as a yoga, not for a given end, but for moksha, it can prepare you for moksha. As a karma yogi, you have a field wherein you can change your disposition into a sattvika disposition, which is necessary for knowledge, that is free from obstructions. To remove all the obstructions, pratibandhakas, one has to go through a life of keeping Ishvara in view. In the 5th chapter, Bhagavan pointed out that what is accomplished by the sannyasi is reached by the karma yogi also. Yat sankhyaik prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate. You cannot simply impose your will upon your disposition. It does not change. That very will is a product of an impulsive disposition which has to mature. Making a resolve to be a sannyasi does not generally work because it is not easy to gain the disposition of a sannyasi without a life of karma yoga. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogataha. Therefore, Krishna tells Arjuna that karma yoga is better. Karma yoga vishishyate. Nice. Fine. So this is the, there are beautiful takeaways in today's session, right? For this shloka, for instance, forcefully by will, you cannot change your disposition, but by practice, you can upgrade yourself, because ultimately our swabhava is because of the 3 gunas. So you can become more and more sattvika by practice, and it does not happen overnight. Yeah. Anyone wants to add or share anything?
So, Dr. Dhanra, the crux is that Karma Yoga is equal to moksha. Is that the meaning?
No, Karma Yoga is not equal to moksha. Karma Yoga also leads to moksha. Ultimately, it is knowledge. The last step for both Karma Yoga and Sannyasa is knowledge.
Oh, so Karma Yoga done with samarpan to Ishvara, and that comes with knowledge.
But this knowledge is not knowledge of any other thing. It is the ultimate knowledge. The knowledge that you are Brahman. So that is the ultimate knowledge. Any other knowledge, like it was said earlier, any other knowledge is limitless. You can go on, there are different, should I say, knowledge that way is of any other aspect will keep you asking for more knowledge. You can seek more knowledge, but it's the Atma Jnana, which is the ultimate knowledge. After this, is no more.
I understand.
So that
what I'm
get just by practice of Karma Yoga. Practice of Karma Yoga only lays the foundation. It prepares your mind for that knowledge to happen.
Okay, so Karma Yoga is a step towards ultimate Jnana Yoga, which will lead you to moksha.
Correct. It's an ultimate step before Jnana.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
What touched me today is Satyam Jnana Anantam Brahma. One sentence, this one. And other, you will do what is your swabhava according to that. As you said, till you become more sattvic, the things will happen that way. Means you will do what is your swabhava. It is only by grace you will reach. And
by practice.
by practice.
in sattvic each day,
Hmm.
and that we are doing it.
Hmm.
And we have to consider
And Nidhi Dhyasana also. Only that will keep you centered.
and then what we get is prasada, and what we do, our work is for God. Means as Ishvara. Means whatever we do is Ishvara's ichha, you know.
Yeah.
So we do
You
it
will
as
not
a
becoming that, but you will be that. I
that.
like the sentence when Gurudev says, no, what Ishvara is doing to you, you are doing that. In Guru Puja, he says, no, you are making aarti, but Chandra and Surya making your aarti like that. Surya. So we are
So it's
doing what he is doing for us. We are doing.
now for us, I think we cannot leave the family and have a part of sannyasa. You see, be a part of sannyasi. So I think we have to follow the karma yoga. So we do the job 100%, but Ishvara in mind. That has to be added. That is my takeaway. See, Ishvara has to be added for your any work what you do. Then only it becomes karma yoga. That is the takeaway I felt. So every moment we
You
have
know,
to
when
think of
yeah,
Ishvara.
when
What
you do that karma yoga, then you get that antakarna shuddhi. Then your mind is prepared to receive that knowledge. That's how it works.
is knowledge, but to live with it is very difficult.
Yeah,
As
but
a
then you need the Ishvara's grace to be like a mind to be clear, body
yes,
to be fit, and your senses to be working properly. You know, like in the sense. So basically, that's where this Ishvara comes. You know, like that we use that karma yoga and anushtana. That this particular one line, you know, where Dr. Brahma read, like the reason you're doing because Ishvara is the whole Jagat. So the whole Jagat is going as per the laws, like the law of nature. So we have to follow that to perform our karma and as instrument, you know, like not that without having the doership, you know, then sorry, I get mixed up with this karma yoga definition all the time.
Yeah, so karma yoga is not just efficiency in work. That is a
Right.
very fallacious, it is such a wrong notion of karma yoga, because it says no, even a pickpocket, an efficient pickpocket is also performing karma yoga, which is not.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's not
is
efficient one, but then you are supposed to yeah. But I also have this question about jignasu. I keep forgetting that also, what that mean,
there are four
jignasu.
kinds of devotees, no? Artho, Artharthi, Jnani, and Jignasu.
What? Yeah, the four kind of bhakti,
Distress.
right? Is that
Four,
four kinds of bhakti?
four kinds of devotees. Four
Devotee.
people who pray
Uh,
to, who go to Ishvara are
uh,
Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu, and Jnani. So Artha is
oh.
who is in distress. He's miserable. He wants some solace out of his misery. Artharthi is the one who wants some possessions. He wants to acquire wealth and property and all that. Artharthi. And then
Mm,
Jignasu is one who is like a mumukshu. He wants to know about himself.
mm.
Jnani,
He
Jnani,
want to know about himself.
Jnani is actually him. That's what Bhagavan says. Jnani is like the sannyasi, is like the Vidvat sannyasi. He's already there on the path, he already is realized. So these are the
Okay.
4 kinds of devotees that go to Ishvara.
So that's a difference between the mumukshu and jignashu, the same.
I think they're the same. I
That's
think
the
they're the same. Yeah, but we can clarify. According to me, they're the same.
okay.
Jnanasu, the meaning is to know the knowledge. Okay. Mumukshu
To know-
is to know the highest knowledge. That is, to reach that, actually. Almost
Can
same.
can someone repeat that ahankar, darpa, and all that?
I'm just going back. I thought we'll just quickly revisit what all we did. I had a practical experience of this pratibandhakas, okay? Because the knowledge without pratibandhakas is what you gain by nididhyasana, isn't it? Where I'm sitting, there is the sun. I'm sitting facing the east. So through the curtain, I'm able to get the sunlight directly. And suddenly there was one pigeon that came and sat on the balcony grill. And it was as though the brightness of the sunlight was kind of blocked. So I got that, it was like the knowledge of the Atma, when that is blocked, that is obstructed by these different misconceptions and notions that we have about ourselves, is like that pigeon coming and blocking that the brightness of the self knowledge. So it was like it was like a practical demonstration of what a pratibandhaka can be. Wanted to share that with you.
That is what Jnana Nishta is, what you call, being free from the
the
obstruction.
certainty of knowledge without obstruction.
Without obstruction.
Yeah.
Knowledge free from obstruction. That is pigeon.
Yeah, the pigeon is the pratibandhaka. So I will just read the first 3 verses. How to gain that jnana nishta. That is what we started today. Yesterday we got to know what jnana nishta is.
Buddhya, yeah.
The 51 to 53 is how to.
Yeah. I think someone's, yeah. Buddhya vishuddhaya yukto dhrityatmanam niyamya cha shabdadin vishayam styaktva ragadveshau vyudhasya cha. That is, the one who is endowed with a mind that is very clear, mastering the body-mind sense complex, being endowed with firm resolve, and giving up the sense objects such as sound, and giving up likes and dislikes. Vivikta sevi lagbhasi, vivikta sevi lagbhashi, yatavakaya manasaha, dhyana yoga paro nityam, vairagyam samupashritaha. The one who lives in a quiet place, who eats lightly, whose speech, body, and mind are mastered, who is always committed to contemplation, who has completely resorted to freedom from longing. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham parigraham vimuchya nirmama shanto brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Giving up misplaced I sense, power, vainfulness, binding desire, anger, ownership, the one who has no sense of ownership of his own body, etc., who is tranquil, is fit for certainty about being Brahman. But for me, the one takeaway today was, for a karma yogi, for all of us, the one attitude we should have is that everything is Ishvara. or your breath, your ability to breathe in and out is Ishvara. Even the very fact that we're all come together, that we're able to hear, listen, all the faculties that are functioning, all that is the grace of Ishvara. And that the inevitability of every moment. See, a karma yogi is not worried about the consequence of his action, right? Or the result of his action. He just performs his duty, what is to be done. And therefore, the last point of our happiness program, the present moment is inevitable, is such an important attitude to have as a karma yogi. I think the only attitude that a karma yogi needs have is probably that. The present moment is inevitable. So moment to moment, you are in acceptance of the fact that you accept the fact, whatever is happening right now here. You're not coloring it with your raga dveshas. You're not judging it with the filter of your raga dveshas. You take everything as it comes. But of course, you do what is to be done.
Without expecting any profit or phala.
I don't know whether we can say without expecting, because no action can be done without expecting a result. But you are in conformity with Ishvara's order. Not like an ethical person. See, an ethical, moral person will think he is in charge, he is in control of everything. Whereas a karma yogi, he follows dharma, he does what is to be done, he's also ethical, but he attributes everything, the results also to Ishvara, the action to Ishvara, the results also to Ishvara. So that way he's a free person. He is actually free from the bondage there. He is not in control because he knows the karma phala data is someone else.
Good.
So that clarity, I was always having this doubt. Why does the concept of Ishvara, why is it important to practice karma yoga? This is to come to that act of surrender. Karma yoga is nothing but an act of surrender. No, it is a prayerful surrender. There is so much bhakti. Without bhakti, there is no karma yoga.
See, being in the present moment means we are not worried what is happening tomorrow. Means
living one day at a time.
No, means the phala. Oh, I am doing this because I will get tomorrow. I am like this. That we have to leave. The phala, karma phala has to be renounced. Then only you can be in the present moment. Otherwise, we will be thinking about that.
Very beautiful.
See, being in present moment is very, very easy to say.
I know, easy to say. Very right.
So,
because force of our habits, what was that? The
feeling guilty about the past and insecurity about the future. That doesn't allow you to be in the present.
So the whole art of living is actually the art of being a karma yogi.
That's what. Really good. Guruji is so wonderful. You are very lucky. And sannyasa is being in the silence program.
I don't know whether we can simplify it that easily. You may be right, because Vivikta Deshi, Lagvasi, Yata Chitya, all that is there. Yes, of course. It is like a Vividisha sannyasi, not a Vidvat sannyasi. Vividisha san. For a time, for a moment, for some period of time, you are renouncing all your other activities and everything. You're sitting by yourself in a quiet place, keeping your senses under control. You're eating, whatever they give.
You're not doing any WhatsApp or this or that.
Correct.
Or this.
Correct.
It's like a Sahas Samadhi daily 20 minutes twice.
Yeah.
But there is one clarification I want. Okay, we keep saying karma yoga, but I think at some point this karma yoga is like that pole vaulter's pole, right? At some point we have to leave that. So my understanding is maybe we hold karma yoga as our pole vault and keep trying to jump. We can't jump over. So karma yoga, as what Swamiji is saying here, is very clearly for antakarna shuddhi, right? Antakarna shuddhi, after which only knowledge starts to happen.
For moksha also.
Yeah, antakarna shuddhi, with antakarna shuddhi, you get the knowledge, and then with that knowledge, you get moksha. So it is, I think, my understanding is slowly, once we realize that, because we can keep saying karma yoga till the end also. That means we are still becoming in that shuddhi mode. We have come on to this path and we are listening to knowledge, means a lot of antakarna shuddhi should have happened by now. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to sit and even contemplate on this knowledge.
But we cannot do it from the samsara, no. We are in samsara.
Samsara, that is okay. You can be in samsara and still be a renunciate, is what I feel. If you really look at chapter 3, where Karma Yoga Bhagavan describes, there he talks about how samsari, because Krishna was a samsari, Arjuna was a samsari, but they were still renunciates. They were like sannyasis.
Actually, whenever we are saying that we are a karma yogi, we have to do karma, we are getting attached to ahankara, name, form, and that's why again and again we are doing karma yogi, karma.
So that is where we have to even realize we are not actually, means we have to come to a state where we are not karma yogis. That is where the real shift happens. Shift happens when you know for sure it's not even a karma yogi now. Yes, you will do what needs to be done, but you're not a karma yogi anymore.
Yeah.
Yesterday, someone asked question now how to come out of raga dvesha. But in this chapter, see, it is happening only. Whatever we are doing, what is karma, according to our swabhava karma is happening. And we are, he said, no, vivishati, means you are uneffortlessly, it is happening by you and it is getting done by you. So how can we get attached to karmas again? And why we should say we have to come out, we have to make our antakaran shuddhi by doing the karma.
See, I think Vijayji, to your thing, we're not going to be called karma yogis forever. After you have had that antakarna shuddhi, then when that knowledge dawns, then you become a sarva karma phalatyagi. That is the state of jnani, isn't it?
Okay, anyway, yeah, maybe. Okay, but now I have to log out 10 o'clock.
No problem, no problem.
I will catch up.
Being in the present moment and doing what is inevitable. It has to be done. See, we are here and what has come, which is inevitable, we have to do it, but with the Ishvara prasada. You know, see, when we are in samsara, we have to do karma. Otherwise, we have to run away from it. So when we do it, the present, when we live in the present, so we have to do whatever it comes in the present. That is inevitable. We cannot run away from that.
Yeah, what is needed, that should be done that time. Correct.
And that has to be done with Ishvara Pranidhana.
Pranidhana, yes.
To the Ishvara. That is, we have to be there. Otherwise, we have to run away from the samsara.
And antakarna shuddhi, earlier I had a question as to what is antakarna shuddhi. Antakarna shuddhi is a mind that is free from raga dvesha, a mind that is cheerful, a mind that is tranquil. and calm, centered. That is the Antakarna Shuddhi that Karma Yoga gives. The result of Karma Yoga is that state of mind when then, with the words of the Shastra, with the words of Pramana, keep the words as a mirror. Or the Veda, like what was very beautifully explained yesterday by Swamiji. This is your Vedanta, the Pramana is your mirror. It's a word mirror. And through that, with constant Nididhyasana, removing all the obstructions, all the pratibandhakas that are obstructing your vision of yourself, then you gain, you realize, you rediscover yourself. I think we'll stop here today. We'll continue tomorrow.
Nice discussions.
Yeah.
We are screening ourselves, screening to the last particle we have to do.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu.